Hey everyone, welcome to our video we're going to be doing today on Bitcoin. I'm going to keep this real short and sweet. There's a lot going on right now, and so I just want to kind of talk a little bit about what my current thoughts are here and what could potentially be coming here in the near future. So before I get started, of course, this isn't financial advice, I'm not your financial advisor. I'm here just giving my opinion on the market. You're responsible for your own trades, managing your own risk, and doing your own research. All right, so I want to go ahead and just kind of take a look at this. I'm going to move out from an hourly time frame. I'm going to move out to a 4 hour for the time being. I'm going to get rid of a lot of my indicators I have down below. Kind of want to take a look at what's happening here. Um, a lot of people are getting pretty anxious for a large breakout. And I'm not saying that it's not going to happen, but what I can say is that you know things are looking pretty strong at the moment. The volume is looking pretty good here. Um, I would say that it is possible for us to go ahead and break down from right here, which, as you can see, we're kind of getting ready to hit this upper trend line. If I move out to a 12-hour time frame, you can kind of see where I'm framing this from, and really it's more or less framed off of the daily. So just looking at our candle closures and whatnot here. But a lot of this is going to depend on how today ends. If today ends above about 8,400, then I would say that we probably do have more room to go up to about 8,950 or so. But again, a lot of it is going to depend on what happens. Like, yeah, we just had a massive sell-off. And by massive, it really wasn't that massive. It just looked like it because, what a lot of people are looking at, they're looking at like the 5-minute chart and they see, something like this, like, oh my goodness, we just fell. We're going to be going straight down. We're going to go down to 5,800. We're seeing some continuation movement to the downside. But in my opinion, let me move out to an hourly time frame and we can just kind of take a look at this. And it still doesn't look bad yet. It doesn't look bad yet for bulls. Especially if you were able to get an entry down here. I didn't, but the signs were there. I didn't listen to it because I had too much of a bearish bias that we were going to be going down, and we had just kind of topped off up here. But nonetheless, this pivot up here is going to be pretty darn important for us to keep. Now, I talk a lot about support and resistance flips all the time. And let's just take a look at this, at least for right now. This is perfect. So what we basically had, we had we had our resistance right here. And then what does it look like we're having again? We're having a support and resistance flip. We had a support right there. It was perfect, right? So that was textbook resistance. Then we break up above it. We had support again. Then we had a pretty monstrous move to the upside. So this went from this support level, so the low here was about 84.65. And then we went to 87.70. So that was a $300 move. That's pretty significant. But nonetheless, as far as, am I bullish? Am I bearish? Right now, I'm bullish as long as we can stay above 84.60. As long as we can stay above 84.60 and talking, closing hourly candles above 84.60, short term I'll be bullish. I am very cautious here, but our 21 exponential is sitting right there at 84.61. It's going to continue to rise as the hours go by. Our target here, if this is not an ABC, it's looking to be that we are going in for a 1, 2, 3 now. That's going to have a target here at about 89.38, 89.50, somewhere in that neighborhood. That's looking to be where we are looking to to make this move, to finish this move there at about 89.50. Now, from there, what's going to happen? That's the good question, right? So let me move out to a 3-hour time frame. I do think that we are pretty overextended right now, so it would make sense for us to, to have some corrections. But this 3 that we've got up here, again, where are we going to correct? So let's measure. If we are to make a perfect end-to-end algo move there, and we see this move up here to this 89.40, 89.50, I'll go ahead and put it right there, 89.40 right on the nose. Very likely we come back to 8,400. Very possible we come back to about 8,100. So I'll be looking for basically, a little bit something like this, where basically what we had, we'll start it from right here. We had 1, 2, and then we have 3, 4, and then we've already come back here. Maybe we come down a little bit farther, but again, we don't want this hourly to close below this level, and then we're going to go up here for this 5. Then what we're going to do is we're going to have a bigger sell-off, and then we're going to see this move potentially down here to the 382. And again, this is going to take some time. It's not going to happen this quick. I'm kind of projecting us to be out, maybe into the weekend, over the weekend, where we get this move down, and then we're going to kind of, wait to see what happens at some of these algo levels. So we're going to look to see what happens at the 236 and also at the 382. Likely, it's going to be reaction here at the 236. So some overly ambitious bulls. Likely there will be a reaction here, and we'll see a little bit of an upside, and then we're going to see a little bit of continuation to the downside to this 382. This 382, in my opinion, is going to be what has to hold for us to see this continued move to the upside to get us all the way up here to about 9,500. So this 4, again, looking down here at the 382, wait to see what happens there before we get this 5, which is going to take us up here to 9,500. And again, that 5 is going to be our one wave on a larger degree, if this is bullish, right? So again, certain things have to hold in order for us to be continued bullish. My opinion, 8,000, we shouldn't go into the 7,500 range. We shouldn't go to the 7,800 range. Really, at any point in time before we hit the target, which is up there at about 9,500. When that happens, right, again, so we're talking about that being a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on a much larger degree. So from there, then I think what we can see, we see this move from the bottom up to the top, again at about 9,500. We're really projecting things that haven't happened yet. So when you see people projecting, we think that this is going to happen in the future. Well, either they're just drawing fake stuff or they're doing it based off of algos. So again, from down here, we're going to see another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then we're going to see a much larger correction, a 1, a 2, and then we can come back down here to 7,800, right? So we'll wait and see how that works itself out. But I would expect after we finish this move, which again could go up to 9,500, after we see a little bit of a push up to about 8,950, we come down to 8,000, then we see that last move up to 9,500, then we start a bigger move down. But again, this is still a bullish count, right? This is still bullish. 7,450 or so is going to probably be the lowest that we can go after we move up to 9,500. That's a pretty significant drop. So taking it from up here, let me see if I can get this moving down. That's still a 17% drop. If we go farther than that, we're talking about down here to the 618, that's a 21% drop. That's pretty significant, right? But nonetheless, what I want to see here, I want to see a move up here to 8,950, see a correction down to about 8,050, 8,070. I'd really like for us to continue closing above 8,100. Then we can see that move up to 9,500. Nonetheless, we had a decent sell-off here. It was about a 1.5% sell-off, but it's insignificant in the grand scheme of things, that minor sell-off that we had. Waiting to see what happens here. Going back to the hourly and pulling up our Stokes, it made sense that we did see a move to the downside. We were topping off here. Let me just kind of pull this up and take a look at this. And I talk about these in a lot of my videos all the time. 12 hours pretty high. We've got our 6 hour, our 4 hour, and of course the 1, 2, and the 3 hour are all pretty much up here. So it's not creating a whole lot of divergence for us. Just regular movement is looking pretty constructive. The 3 hour created a new high as the price created a new high. Same thing with the 2 hour. The 4 hour creating a new high. The only one that hasn't created a new high yet is the 12 hour, but of course that's a longer time frame, and this is going to take some time for it to move. If we make that move up to 9,500, then I can see that 12 hour go ahead and, kind of moving back up here as well. So, watching all of these things as they work themselves out. But again, I would say, it is possible again for us to come back down here to 8,450. 84.60, and then we can see a move back up to 89.50, and then I'd say that we do have a larger move down here to about 8100, and then we'll kind of wait and see again. Wait and see what happens there. I would say that it is probably pretty risky to open up a long position at the price that we are currently at. I would wait for it to come down a little bit more, down here to this level, which is again at about 84.50 or so. And then you could take that move to 89.40. But I would be interested in shorting at 89.50, 89 and 89.70, maybe closer to 9,000. And then we get this move down here. People talk about $1,000 candles all the time. This is a perfect candidate for it. Moving from 9,000 down to 8,000 before we take a larger move over time up to 9,500. But again, I'm not super bullish right now based on where we are, but I am cautiously bullish. And usually, if history says anything, when I'm cautiously bullish is when things tend to fly to the upside. So I am planning on taking some longs on this pullback. Again, looking for that move down here to this level. One more thing that I do want to make a note here. And I've already mentioned this once, but I'm going to mention it again. The fact that we are staying above this level is, it's pretty significant that we're staying up here above this range. So as long as we can stay up here in this range, that I would say that things are looking pretty good and pretty constructive for a continued move to the upside. So this green area is where I would be interested in accumulating down here to about 84.50, and then taking that move up to 88.50, 89.50. Again, if you're able to get a move from all the way down here and you're getting it all the way up there, it's 5.39%. 10x leverage is 53%. So possible to get a decent move off of there. I wouldn't go too crazy with high leverage because we can see that $1,000 candle at any point in time. And right now things are looking to be overbought. Again, the last time things were, in a similar state was when we were about right here, right? Okay, we saw a continuation, rejection to the downside. We saw some consolidation, another move to the upside, then we saw a larger move down. So right now, things are looking overbought. So I'm cautiously bullish because just because they're overbought doesn't mean that they're going to just continue, a reversal and move to the downside. Because you can see back here when you saw this, we saw, the hourly stochastics come down about halfway, and then we saw continuation to the upside. Then it was overbought. We saw the hourly stoch come down about halfway. Then we saw another rally to the upside. And it wasn't until that 3 hour, the 2 hour started to move down here into the neutral zone, and of course the hourly moving below the midway point before we saw that continuation to the downside. So, just kind of being cautious and waiting for things to happen. We're down here in this accumulation zone, this current accumulation zone, and again, I'm going to be looking to see what happens up here about 89.50. Just being very careful and monitor your trades, set your stop losses, and manage your risk appropriately. But I hope this video helped you, at least a little bit. But if it helped you in any way, shape, or form, please feel free to like, subscribe, share. If you'd like to converse with us on the Discord, it's a free to use Discord, doesn't cost anything. Just pop in and a comment, and I will throw an invite code out for you. But again, wherever you're in the world, hopefully having a good day, good night, and a good evening.